Hello and welcome to Cosmetics Business in Conversation with Labskin. I am Julia Ray, Technical Editor at Cosmetics Business, and it is my great pleasure today to be joined by Clarke, Head of Sales at Labskin, who is going to introduce us to a new service called Skin Trust Club. Eric, hello, great to have you with us.
Hi, Julia, it's great to be here. I think it's my pleasure more than anything. So
wonderful. So to begin, could you maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, about Labskin, and about Skin Trust Club too?
Sure. So ironically, I haven't actually come from the most appropriate background. So I'm actually an IT professional at heart and come from a services background. So a few years ago, my friend of mine, he asked me to get involved in Labskin and the skin microbiome. So I was like, okay, the first thing I need to find out is what is the skin microbiome. So that was a lot of fun, big kind of education piece. In terms of Labskin, so it's an interesting journey that we've had. Basically, we started about 15 years ago out of the University of Leeds. So they started with this, what I would call a human skin model. So what a human skin model is it's probably exactly what it says on the tin. Really, it's human skin, but it's not effectively. It has a lot of the features and functions of human skin, but it lacks some things like hair follicles and sweat glands and these kind of things. But I guess the whole point is that it's enough to be able to test things like cosmetics and certain pharmaceuticals to the point where you could say, yep, no, that actually does what it should do, basically. And in terms of Labskin, one of the biggest boons I guess we had, and especially coming into recent trends around the skin microbiome, is that they actually designed the skin model from day one with the skin microbiome in mind. So I guess you could say we're a little bit ahead of the curve when it came to the skin microbiome. We were thinking about it apparently 15 years ago, and I guess nobody was thinking about it. So yeah, so basically, over years of developing tests for cosmetics companies and investigating how their products worked against our Labskin model, we built up a lot of data around the skin microbiome. And one of the goals we had was to look at this data and to try and find any interesting trends when it came to for example, skin diseases or certain bacteria linked to certain skin conditions. And one of the issues that we actually had was getting kind of what we would call control data, which is existing data around skin conditions. And the issue was, I guess, a lot of the data was out there, but it was in a format where it became very difficult to kind of pull it all together and to do analysis on it. So we figured, okay, we've got a skin model, which is, obviously one of the best in the world in terms of the skin microbiome. We've got a very capable AI and IT wing, effectively. So how do we get the last challenge really is how to get the data in a format that we can actually use. So that's where we came up with Skin Trust Club. And again, one of the trends around skin microbiome is people want to personalize their skincare and they want to learn a little bit more about their skin. I think even just as a general trend, I know we all have Fitbits and devices on us now that tell us, how many steps we've worked. So we thought, why not have one for your skin? Why not understand a little bit more about your skin and the activities that are going on in your skin? So
fantastic, yeah. Why not indeed? So for anyone watching who may not have heard the term microbiome or has heard it but maybe isn't too sure what that means or its significance, what exactly is the skin microbiome, and why is it important when it comes to, for example, our choices of skincare regimen?
That's a great question. I guess the skin microbiome, it's even the microbiome in general. Obviously, people might have heard of the gut microbiome previously. When you have like things like Yakults and probiotics and yogurts that are kind of good for your gut, and generally what they're trying to do is promote the health of your gut microbiome. Now, I mean, the microbiome is defined as effectively the ecosystem of bacteria that you have not only on your skin but also inside your body as well. And the reason, I guess, why it's good for in general is the the ecosystem. Obviously, it's an ecosystem, so it tries to maintain some level of balance. So you have all of these different types of bacteria working together to, you know, obviously to feed themselves, to take care of themselves, but obviously to protect against things like other maybe pathogenic bacteria such as Staph aureus, maybe, where things that cause eczema, and just protect against the bad guys effectively. So they create a nice little community on the system, a nice diverse, healthy community, and it keeps your skin safe from all the bad guys effectively. And again, so the question, I suppose, the last question is, why is it important for skincare? The only, I suppose, the reason, the ultimate goal of the microbiome is to have it balanced, because a balanced microbiome is a friendly microbiome, is a healthy microbiome. So a lot of these products are looking into ways that, first of all, to identify where the microbiome is out of balance. So, for example, with things like acne or even eczema, where you have an overgrowth of Staph aureus. I mean, there's a few different things. I'm oversimplifying it a little bit, but effectively what we want to do is get the good guys to fight the bad guys. I don't know, am I oversimplifying it too much? But and if you can build skincare regimes and build products that help to rebalance your microbiome where it's out of balance, then your skin is going to be a lot happier and healthier for it.
Absolutely. Now we keep hearing this word personalized being bandied about in terms of skincare.
Mm-hmm.
Can what's going on with one's microbiome fit into this move towards personalized, bespoke skincare?
Absolutely. I mean, personalized is again, it's one of these terms where, you know, I think it's been thrown out a lot, and nobody's really put a solid definition behind it, even though it should be quite obvious, right? It's personal to the person effectively. The skin microbiome is unique to every person. It's again effectively, it's like a fingerprint. But not only that, I mean, and again, this is one of the problems which Skin Trust Club tries to address, is that yes, we all have our own unique personal microbiome. However, there are other factors that influence that microbiome, such as your diet, any medication you might be taking, your environment, your age, you know, your gender. All of these things kind of factor into your skin microbiome and how it's been affected and how it changes over time. You know, so that's, I guess, what we're trying to achieve is we're trying to get as much of this data as we can without, you know, being too excessive, and then overlaying that with the skin microbiome test, which would give you effectively a picture of who you are. And I guess the ultimate goal then is that, I mean, in theory, you could personalize someone's skincare routine or products to their like very, to their location effectively, like even to their area of the city, where maybe one area of the city is a little bit more polluted than another, or it's a little bit more humid, so you'd have a different skincare regime. And I guess the ultimate goal is to have people, you know, buy products and use products that have been tested, and that are suitable for their skin. Because I guess the history of things, the history of skincare has been very loose when it comes to justifying their data, and justifying their claims. So we're just giving effectively another tool to the consumer, in order to kind of choose more smartly, I guess, if that's a word, that their regime.
Excellent. So a techie question here. How exactly does the Skin Trust Club app work? You know, and how can it help consumers to improve their skin condition if, you know, their microbiome is out of balance?
So the app, I guess it's actually a lot more than an app. The application is the app, which is now on the App Store, by the way. You know, we've managed to get it up there, which is great. But the app is effectively, it's the center of everything. I mean, you've got your skin test, you've got your application, which sits in your hand, and then obviously there's the back end in the lab, which is, I mean, I won't bore you too much with the technical details, but there's a bioinformatics pipeline / gene sequencing of bacteria, and it's all, you know, very techy and very high tech stuff, which I don't really understand, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. But the scientist tells me it works, so it's great. And I suppose the mechanics of the thing is, you download your app. We post you out a simple skin swab. You just take a little swab of your cheek. It's not too invasive or too complex. And then we calculate your skin microbiome score. So we have a number of statistical models that we use to calculate your score. And then we bring in stuff like your environment and, as I mentioned, like your age and all of these different data points to come up with a score, effectively how balanced your skin is. It's a score from 1 to 100. It's fairly rudimentary, but again, as we gather more data and as we learn a bit more about the skin microbiome, we'll tweak that score and we'll make it a little bit more elegant, a little bit more powerful, I guess, over time as the data comes in. But at the moment, we effectively we also categorize your skin into 3 types, which again is a little bit reductive. But as I said, over time, we'll get a little bit more nuanced, a little bit more subtle about these categorizations. So effectively, you have your dry skin, you have your balanced skin, and your sebaceous skin or your oily skin. So I mean, yeah. So that's the I guess that's the how it works. The actual app itself, as I said, it's a normal iOS app. It's very pretty. It looks a little bit like the kind of Apple Health type apps, and it takes in again all of your environmental data, and you fill out a little questionnaire to just if you're using antibiotics, that's going to have an effect on your skin microbiome by definition, because it'll probably kill a lot of the bacteria which you're producing. And obviously, and if you have any skin conditions, so if you visibly have acne or you visibly have eczema, then that's also useful to know for us to look at your microbiome and to see, okay, this person has eczema, and we can see that everyone who says they have eczema, it's linked to an overgrowth of this type of bacteria. So that's the long and short of it, I guess. I don't know if that covers everything, but yeah, as I said, the app is pretty simple. You get your skin swab, and then once the report comes back, the report pops up on your phone, and you can dive into it, and it'll give you a nice visual overview of your microbiome. And then you can dive in a little bit more if you want to go into some details on the actual bacteria breakdown and all that kind of stuff, and what it means. Then we'll give you some analysis. Again, quite generic analysis at this point, because we're still technically a lifestyle device. But in time, it'll become more medical and more diagnostic as we develop our knowledge effectively.
Fantastic. So that's sort of the consumer benefit there, the user benefit. Is there also the potential for businesses to benefit in any way from the Skin Trust Club too?
Yeah, of course. I guess one of the main benefits, I guess, would be for consumers, or sorry, not consumers, for skincare companies to understand their own customer base. And we are working with some partners now. We are positioning ourselves as a very agnostic. We're not recommending anyone. We're not kind of getting money to say, here, buy these products. Yeah. Anyone that we've tested, this is kind of the disclaimer bit, but anyone we've tested it has been tested by us in Labskin, and we can kind of stand over them as a company, that they're ethical, that their products are effective, and they do what they say they do, basically. But yeah, I guess the opportunities for skincare companies are obviously to kind of increase their brand equity by saying, look, here's, we're partnering with Skin Trust Club. We want to show you that, we're actually, serious about data and serious about testing. And, here's a pack. You can test your microbiome at the beginning, and then you can test your microbiome at the end of using our regime for 2 or 3 months and see the improvement. So I think that's a great benefit for skincare companies, and that they can kind of give you a bit more, I guess, information about your skin and how their products affect your skin microbiome. So we're happy for our skincare customers our skincare producers to use our kits to be able to help their customers understand their microbiome as well. So I think it's a nice little benefit.
Fantastic. So finally, remind us, where can we find the Skin Trust Club app? And then, what can we expect from both the app and the club itself, and also from Labskin too going forward?
Yeah, so the app is up on the App Store. So it's currently only available in iOS, but we will be looking to develop the Android version over the next few months. So Android users, unfortunately, they're a bit out of luck at the moment. But again, we'll be posting updates on the website around when the Android version is available. In terms of Labskin, well, I guess we're going to be, testing a lot of products for Skin Trust over the next few months. That's probably our main focus. I mean, realistically, what we want to do is we want to create a microbiome standard. And, when people talk about microbiome friendly or microbiome balanced, we want to show that actually we've tested thousands of products, and we can tell you what a balanced microbiome looks like, and what products are actually supporting the microbiome. So that's the main focus from Labskin. Now we do have a little bit of an R&D piece around. We're putting some melanocytes in our model. So for anyone who doesn't know what a melanocyte is, it's the thing that gives your skin pigment. So again, that'll be very useful for testing different ethnicities and obviously testing things like SPF and UVA and UVB products. So we're really excited about that coming onto the market in later on this year. Again, that'll be more towards the B2B rather than Skin Trust Club aspect of it. But again, it'll all fit in when we're, if people want us to test SPF or sun cream or anything like that, we'll have a much more robust model in order to be able to do that. And from Skin Trust Club, as I said, we're going to be launching the Android app shortly, maybe I guess over the next couple of months. The recommendations piece will get a lot stronger because we'll be bringing a lot more partners onto the platform. So there'll be a lot more products being tested. So your routines or your recommendations will get a lot more varied and a lot more personalized towards yourself. We're playing a little bit of catch up at the moment because obviously the last few months we're finding out if this actually works, and now we're like, okay, it works. Now what? We have to actually go and test the products, but it's bit by bit, and I think from the main focus, I guess, from the first protocol is to get people to swab their skin and to understand, even just on a basic level, what their skin microbiome looks like, and then we can bring them on the journey from there.
Brilliant. And it sounds like a really exciting journey. Eric, thank you so much. Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us and explaining a bit about Skin Trust Club and how both consumers and industry can benefit from that.
Thanks very much, Julia.
Lovely. That was Cosmetics Business in conversation with Labskin. For more interviews with leading companies from across the beauty industry, visit the Cosmetics Business YouTube channel and hit subscribe.